Welcome to the Do Good Mavericko podcast. By the way, sorry about my bad voice. I have a cold, so I just have to make the best out of this. Velocity to $1. You know, velocity to $1. It's a concept. I think it was coined by Sean Ellis. But yeah, velocity to $1. Basically, when it comes to launching a business, getting to that first dollar as fast as possible. It's extremely valuable. Velocity to $1 because the amount of time you can waste before launching is mind-boggling, almost scary to think about. When I look back at when I look back at all my mistakes and wasted time, one of the big mistakes that I've done over and over again is having a business idea and spending a lot of time before launching. Instead of just coming up with an MVP, as they call it, a minimum viable product, a kind of first version, a simplified version of the product or service, and then launching it and getting to that first sale as quickly as possible. As quickly as possible, or at least quickly, That's probably a helpful concept to keep in mind. And of course, you're going to find exceptions for this as well. People spending years preparing for something and launching it and it takes off. But it's a scary thing to be doing, because the thing is, if you are spending a lot of time trying to perfect something before you launch it, you might find that what you spend so much time, money, and resources on perfecting is something that the customers don't even want. Or maybe they want the product, but like 80% of it they're not even interested in. So maybe you are optimizing on the wrong things. Premature optimization, customer feedback, client feedback. That's what you should be using to perfect and optimize a product or service. So yeah. And also another thing is that almost everything is easier with more money. And if you launch early and you start getting money in, if you get to that first sale, the thing about getting to the first sale is that then you can probably make another sale as well, and another and another. You can kind of, start selling and generating income, and that money coming in, is probably also going to help you a lot when it comes to perfecting and optimizing, improving the product or service as well. You have both money coming in and real life customer feedback, client feedback as well. So yeah. And you avoid wasting time. I'm not an expert at this at all, but looking back, one of the big mistakes, like I mentioned, is I wasted time at not launching early enough. And when you look at companies that you consider super high end as well, almost like luxury companies, almost like Apple, for example. Yeah, even when you look at the launches and the products they've had over the years as well, it has not been perfect products. It's been a lot of flaws there as well. But imagine if they had never launched, or if they had spent years trying to perfect it up front. But yeah, that's just one example. There's like thousands of them. And it's different when you're not a multi-billion-dollar company. Where minimum viable product, when it comes to velocity to $1, it reminds me of especially one of the guys that I interviewed a few weeks ago. I'm in the process of interviewing success stories of paid communities. And one of the guys I interviewed, he had the idea for a paid community he wanted to launch. He called a friend of him that he wanted to partner with because he wanted to launch a community, a paid community about artificial intelligence. His friend got on board, and I think it was the very next day he launched. And they generated a few sales almost immediately. And within something like 3 to 4 weeks, I think, he was already at like 5 figures in profit per month. Another lady I interviewed, she runs I think she runs the biggest community on the Skool platform in the business category, Michelle O'Neill. And she launched a paid community about 2 years ago. And she used mainly TikTok and YouTube as a way to generate traffic and generate sales. And within 2 weeks, she went from zero. She launched the community from zero. In like 2 weeks, she had about $14,000 a month. I think that was revenue. So yeah, like $10,000 in profit per month. 2 weeks. She launched. I'm going to interview 30 people about paid communities, but so far I've just interviewed a few of them. But when it comes to this thing about launching, it's really exciting to see how many of them was doing it so quickly. It seems to be almost, especially when it comes to the Skool platform, it seems to be almost a standard thing where a lot of them are launching a community in a way where they are selling it cheaply in the beginning. So heavily discounted in the beginning. Maybe they are planning to charge like $100 per month, and they start at maybe $10 per month and gradually increasing it. And that way they can launch pretty much right away and get going. That's what one of the guys that I interviewed, he said that in the beginning, when they sold their first members into their paid community, they didn't even have anything inside the paid community. They were going to teach about artificial intelligence. This was in Germany, but they didn't have any teachings inside the community yet when they launched it because it was brand new. But what they sold was the vision. They sold the vision of what it would look like, what it would be in the future. So they sold the vision to, I think it was mostly friends in the beginning for the first few members. They got going, and then they made a deal with a list owner as an affiliate, and then they got a lot more sales. So yeah. But he launched, I think it was the very next day from when he got the ID, they launched and generated sales. And it seems to me that paid communities is actually very unique when it comes to that. Of course, there's a lot of things you can launch. You can launch fast online. And there's especially a lot of things people say they can launch fast online. But when you look at what's actually launched fast, usually you see people wasting weeks and months. And I speak from experience. It's crazy. I've done it myself over and over again. But when it comes to paid communities, it seems that many people are actually doing it as well, not just in theory, but they're actually launching it quickly, and then they get the ball rolling. So yeah. And that's pretty fascinating because paid communities, you can launch them fast, but at the same time, you can build something that is generating reliable, recurring monthly income, monthly cash flow. So it can be kind of like a cash cow. That's one of the reasons that I'm titling the book that I'm making. I'm titling it Community Cash Cows, because many of these communities can be built where it can be, yeah, kind of like a cash cow. So yeah, although you can launch it fast, you can also build something solid. You can build a solid business that can last for years and years, even decades, if you do things correctly. So yeah, exciting stuff. But of course, no matter what kind of business or what kind of online business you want to launch, the concept of the velocity to $1, it applies to a lot of them. It's easy to get caught up in the tick of 10 things. There's thousands of things you can do. But if you focus on the key, most important factors, one of them to keep in mind, kind of like a mental framework almost, or a concept, is velocity to $1. And by the way, when it comes to paid communities, like I said, I'm in the process of interviewing 30 real-life success stories of people that are running paid communities and making at least $10,000 in profit per month. And if you want to learn from those and also to connect with a bunch of other people that are also building paid communities, you should check out communitycashcows.com. communitycashcows.com.